Assalamu alaikum students. Welcome to the fourth lecture of your computer class. I hope that you all are doing really well at your homes. Today we are going to learn about computer languages. What are computer languages? In the previous lecture we had discussed about utilities and other things. I hope that you're revising each lecture at your home. So let's get started with today's lecture. So now, what is a computer language? As you know, that computer is a machine that works on instructions. Whatever instruction we provide to the computer, it gives a certain output in response to that input. So, and language, as you know, is basically a form. The mode we use to communicate. So just like humans have different languages all over the world to communicate with each other. Similarly, computer also has a language. For example, when you go to France has a different language called French. So if you go from Pakistan to France, obviously you speak Urdu, and people in France they speak French. So what you need to do is that you need somebody or some you will be needing a translator to translate either French. You will need a translator to translate French to Urdu and Urdu to French. Similarly, computer language also has, which is called interpreter. Similarly, computer also has an interpreter which converts the language that we speak and converts it into the form of language which computer understands. So every country has a language. Similarly, computer also have languages. They do not understand English. If I say that okay, type this, computer won't be able to understand type this. So although we have a keyboard and alphabets are written on the keyboard, we do enter words in English, but at the back end there is a whole process that goes on, and there's a whole transformation process which uh, translates the thing that we type into the languages that computer understands. So a computer language is also called a programming language. We call it often when you grow up, and then you will grow up, and when you learn about computer languages more, you will often hear the word programming language. Basically, programming language means that you have to program the computer. You have to tell the computer what to do in different languages, and there are various different languages that computer understand. As as technology has progressed, and as people are learning more about computers, new languages have been created that are more easier to understand for humans. So a computer language is also called programming language, is used to write and develop software programs for the computer. So whatever programs that we make, whatever applications that we make, even on not necessarily on a computer, on a laptop, on phones, we have software programmers which write the codes. Basically, there are codes that are written. Programming languages are coding languages that you write codes for instructions. So whatever software you are developing, whatever application is developed, there's a code that is written and which the computer understands. Okay, so and a computer cannot understand any command that we give in English or in any other languages. It has its own set of instructions for communication, or that we called computer languages. Computer languages can be classified into two broad categories: low level languages and high level languages. So but there are two categories that we convert computer languages to. One of them is called low level language, and the other called high level languages. So let's see what high and low level languages are. Low level languages are the basic computer instructions. They are called machine codes. Machine codes. We have already discussed a little bit about it in the previous lecture. So low-level languages, because a computer cannot understand any instruction given to it by the user in English or any another languages. So these low level languages are very easily understandable by the machine. So the main function of low level language is to interact with the hardware of the computer, and they help in operating and managing all the hardware and system components of the computer. They handle all the instructions which form the architecture of the hardware systems. So low level languages are of two types: machine language and assembly language. Low level languages are machine dependent. Code written for one machine might not work on the other. So for example, if you are written, there are different devices which have their own sets of which have their own which are manufactured by different companies. They're manufactured differently. They use different um, different equipments, different electronics, not necessarily different electronics, but they are manufactured by different companies. So there is a slight difference between computers. So some of them have, for example, some of them may have more processing power, some of them may have less processing power, some of them have good good memory, some of them do not have good memory, some of them or some of them there's a slight difference in the way of manufacturing. So it depends on which company is manufacturing which product, so they are machine dependent. So these machine language and assembly languages, they are machine dependent. You have to remember this, that they are machine dependent. So for example, that if you have written a code for one computer, one machine, it may not be work it no, it's not necessary that it will work on all the computer devices or all the on the machines. So it is machine dependent. Okay, so machine language. Okay, this is one of the most basic low-level languages, and it was the language that was first developed to interact with the first generation of computers. And it is written in binary code or machine code, which means it basically comprises of only two digits, ones and zeros. So computer only understands zeros and ones. Okay, um, so zero means that it off state, and one means on state. Zero means that there is no electric current flowing, and one means that there is electric pulse, there is electric current flowing. These are binary numbers. Zeros and one is called binary number. These are called binary codes. Not binary codes, but binary number. Zero and one is binary number. Remember, always remember, whenever someone says that what is binary number, so you would say zero is and one. Binary codes are the code which are written in machine language, is written in binary codes, which constructs of only zeros and ones. Zero means off state, and one means on state. Zero means that electric current is flowing, and one means that electric current is not flowing. And the programs that are written in machine language, they are called object pro. So, machine language is the language that the computer understands and can execute directly without translation. So, this is the basic language that computer understands. When means that computer, this is the lowest language. This is a low level language that computer understands. That if a program is written in machine language, then the computer would understand it very well, because it's the first language that the computer understands. So and computer does not need a translator or an interpreter to translate the machine code into another code. Machine code is the basic code that the computer understands. So in machine language, each instruction is written in the form of a long string of zeros and ones. These are binary numbers, so these are binary codes. Every instruction that is given to the computer is in the form of zeros and ones. So computer will understand that, okay, if there is um Okay, so a program written in machine language runs very fast because no translation is required. These programs are, however, very difficult to write. So, because these are not very easy. This is because this is the basic language that the computer understands. For example, that if somebody comes to Pakistan and you're the person who only knows Urdu, and someone speaks Urdu to you, someone speaks English to you, it will be, if you know English little bit, you will be able to understand what he's saying. But if he speaks Urdu you won't be needing any translator. You will understand every word that the other person is saying. So similarly, the machine language is the language of computer. So whatever written is in binary form, zeros and ones, the computer will understand. It was the first language that was ever created, but it is not easy for a human to understand, because coding in the machine language is not easy, because zeros and ones, you need a lot of time, you need a lot of understanding to write these codes. So because, and it is very fast. Why? Because there is no need of an interpreter or translator to convert machine language into another language. So for other languages we need an interpreter into and converter to convert the language into machine language. So now the second low level language is called assembly language. Assembly language was the first computer language to use words made with letters of the English alphabet. It was developed in the 1950s. In the assembly language, each instruction to the computer is written using a letter is it in the sorry I'm sorry about the phone call, I'm really sorry. It was developed in the 1915. In assembly language, each instruction to the computer is written using a letter combination. It tells the computer where the data is and what to do with it. Like machine language, assembly language is also machine dependent. So the because the machine language was difficult to understand, because it only consisted of zeros and one for no, for human beings. It was really difficult to write codes in machine language. So because we understand alphabets more, so assembly language was the first language which used alphabets, English alphabets, to write codes. So it was developed in the 1950s. So assembly language, it used symbolic codes which were called mnemonics to write any instruction. Mnemonic is basically a short name which is given to an instruction. Okay. For example, sum for addition and sub for subtraction. So if we had to if add something, then we used to write sum for we used to write sum for subtract the addition in an instruction in the code, and sub for subtraction. So these mnemonics were used instead of binary numbers. But the program that is written in that is written in assembly language, it has to be converted, it has to be translated into machine language, because the computer only understands machine language. And so for that, how a computer converts assembly language into machine language, we need a software program. It was called assembler. Assembler converts the assembly language program into machine language program. And the program that is written in the assembly language, or the program that is written in mnemonic codes, what it is called? It is called source program. So now and also, just like machine language, assembly language is also machine dependent. Means that if you have written if you written a code, an assembly language code for one specific machine, then it won't necessarily work on other machine as well. So you have to write separate programs for each machine that you use. Okay. So these two are the basic, the low level languages, which were the these are the initial languages that were ever created. So okay, now the high level languages, they use English alphabets or English words to give instructions to the computer. And in this for high level languages, we use another software program which is called interpreter. Okay. High level languages, they use interpreter. interpreter to convert high level language to machine language or machine code, or machine language, because I have already told you that every language that the computer uses, that the computer that we write instruction to, has to be converted into machine language. So some examples of high level languages, because nowadays mostly codes, they are written in high level languages. So some of them are, you must have, I don't know if you've heard about them, as C or C++ or Basic or Logo. So these are some of examples of high level languages. So if somebody tells you that, this program is written in C or C++, then that means that it is a high level language. So, and what high level language, and high level language needs a interpreter to convert the high level language into the machine language. So let's now read. The wide use of computers by mid-90s led to the development of high level languages. These languages use English and mathematical symbols, and they make computer programming simpler. So because when English alphabets and mathematical symbols are involved, then we can coding is easier as compared to the machine language code. So when we write high level language program by using English and mathematical symbols, we create instructions on the basis of that, and then that is converted by the interpreter into the machine code, and that is then the instruction is executed. A program in a high level language is called a source program. So it cannot run directly onto the computer. It must be compiled or interpreted first. So there's a compiler also, and there's an interpreter which which compile the whole program, and then interpret it and interpret it into the machine language. High level language programs are machine independent. So they are machine independent, so they do not depend on the machine. So if a program is written in high level language, it can be run into different machine, irrespective of how the of who manufactured the machine. They can be run on different types of computer without change, so you don't need to change them, or you do not need to alter the programs. They are machine independent. So whatever, if you write a program, it can run on different computers, different types of computers. Some examples of high level languages are Basic, COBOL, Fortran, C, C++, and Java. These are some of the, when you grow up, you're going to learn about these programming languages. These are languages that that need a lot of time and uh, um, time in your dedication to learn these programming languages. These are high level languages. So these were the computer languages that we have studied today. So computer languages are two types of languages, that are high level language and low level languages. And we have studied it, higher level languages, why they are more advantageous, or why they are more why they're better than low level languages, because they are easier to learn than assembly language, and the program written in high level languages can be executed in any computer. They are machine independent, and they are easier to maintain, and they require less time to write. So, and they are not very difficult as compared to low languages programs. So you should know the disadvantages and advantages. Where they are machine independent, they are easier to understand, they require less time to write, they are easier to maintain, they are and they can be easily understood, and they don't need to be converted, because they need a lot of time, because then we don't need any they need to be converted, sorry. So but they are easier to understand. For humans, any code that is written in binary form is difficult to understand. So these were the programming languages that we have studied about today, and I hope that you have understood all these what is a programming language, and what are computer languages and their types. And this is probably the end of this chapter. We are going, as you are going to grow older, you're going to learn all these in details, you're going to learn different languages. So if you are interested in computer, so this is the end of this chapter. So if you have not able to understand anything, then you can ask me, you can put in your queries to the school administration, and I'm going to help you. Okay, now computer manners, let's see what is written here. If you're in a public place like in your school computer lab or internet cafe or in an office, good manners dictate that you should not play music loudly. Ideally use headphones or set the volume low so that the music does not disturb others who prefer to work in silence. So just like, these are basically basic manners. As you can see that this is not right, but this is right because everybody is putting their using headphones. So these are manners. Just like, we have different etiquettes and manners for different things, we have computer manner as well. So what does it include? Like for example, if you are using in a computer lab, firstly you are not allowed to play music loudly. So but if you are in internet cafe, other people are using editing are sitting next to you, and they are also using computer at the same time, so that they do not get disturbed, or there's not a chaos environment in the place that you're using computer. You should put a hands free in your hands free or a headphone set while playing music or any videos or anything that you're watching, so that there is no noise pollution and people are not disturbed by your presence. So these are basic computer manners that you should know. So I hope that you have understood the chapter. I hope that there's no issue in this chapter. If you have an issue, I'm saying again and again that please contact the school administration, and we are going to address all the queries that you have. So till then, I'm going to see you in the next lecture. I'm going to provide you a worksheet about this. Listen to the lecture and then write the answers to the each answer to each question. So I'm going to see you in the next lecture. Take care, and be nice to your parents, and revise your lectures at home. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.